And while I'm clicking the new point, I keep my click on hold and drag it and see if what is the best for me. Is everything clear for now?
ايه.
I have a question.
Yes, sure.
بس كيف هي محا إذا عملت غلطة؟
You will click Control Z just as if you're undoing. Or you have the tool here which will delete anchor point. Wherever you chose the pen tool, click delete anchor point and click on the point you did wrong. For example, this one. This one. I just deleted all the points. Okay?
Thank you.
You can even remove the point you didn't like, for example. But to do this, you will need to click Control. Okay? Let's say you made lots of points next to each other, like this, and then you want to change it. You will click Control and move it wherever you'd like to. Okay? Now I'm gonna make a selection. Past. Here there is a mistake. For example, it's not going straight. I'm just gonna remove it. As you can see, I didn't click anything, but once you put your point on the point of the pen, it will give you option of the pen with a minus. Once it shows this minus sign, it means you can delete the point. I'm just gonna fix this one. Yes. Let's add more lines. For now, I'm just gonna show you how it is, and if you have the software, you can practice it yourself. If you want, practice it now, so you will see if you have any issues, and you can ask me directly.
بس هتعمل كل الكار ولا لا؟
Yes, I'm gonna do all the car, but it is preferable for you to do part one, part by part, because not all the parts of the car should be the same color. For example, if I'm gonna change the color, but I'm just gonna do it in this way for you to see what's the difference between both.
And can you combine different selection tools? So now you're doing the pen tool. Can you move on to another one while
No,
keeping the pen tool ولا لا بتروح الpen tool؟
while you're in the pen tool, you can only use the pen tool. The pen tool is specific for this one.
فهلا
But
إذا
if
بيكبس
you,
على selection تاني بتروح الpen tool ما هيك؟
yes, it will directly go away because the pen tool is based with the path 1. So we cannot use the pen tool with other selection tools as the selection tool and the magic wand tool and the other ones. So it is preferable not to use any other selections or any other thing while using the pen tool because it is sensitive, let's say, as it will demolish all your work and you won't be able to do anything with it. So I'm not gonna choose here wheel as we don't need to change the color of the wheel.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. This tool is a little bit complicated and it's not a very easy tool to work with, but it is the best to use it when you're making some detailed work. It's one of those tools that you can control what you're choosing fully, unlike the other tools. Here I did a mistake, for example, and I stopped it. But I can click on the end point and add it and continue adding my so yes. I choose this one, so yes. I'm just gonna choose it straightforward. Once you make a mistake, as we said, you will click Control Z to go backwards. And if you did several mistakes, you will need to click Control Alt and Z to go several steps backwards. Okay? And don't forget to click and drag to keep the pen arc-shaped vectors. So now I'm just gonna go like this. And to close this path, we will click the first point we chose. And once you do that, you won't be able to change anymore, or you have to choose convert point and to be able to modify it. As here my selection wasn't as I wanted, I clicked on the point to modify it again. And this is the line I chose in this picture. Once I did the pen selection, this is not selected now. We have to go to the path next to the layer channels, and here is the path. And we will, if this is not selected, we will select the work path. And from down below we will select this sign, which means selection, and now we have it as selection tool. And after that, we need to go to the layers. Make sure you chose the layer you worked on and click Ctrl J to create a new layer only with the selection you made. Now, this selection can be moved however you want, wherever you want. And why I did this? So we can play with the color of the car or modify it and however we want without touching the rest of the image. So now let's say I'm gonna I want to change the color. I will go and select a new layer here. And let's say we're gonna make the car maybe dark red. Okay. And we will paint the new layer we created, which was empty, with this paint bucket tool. Now we don't see anything because the layer is above this layer. But I'm going to show you what's the difference of this. The layer above will always cover whatever is below. So if I drag this car above the first layer, I will have the car visible. But at this point, I don't want to do that because I want to paint the color red. So I will need to move it back. And now I will have the car as painted. The only problem here is it is not visible as a car. So I have to play with some modification tools, and I will click on the colored layer, and from here I will change the
بس
normal.
متشكة بس حتى صارت الكار ريد. I didn't notice ما شفنا الايكون او شيء.
Yeah. So you have two options. You either click Alt, the button Alt on your keyboard while your mouse is between the two layers. For example, I will click Alt and here I got a new icon. I will click this to have a clipping mask. To remove it also you will click Alt on keyboard button, or you will right click on the layer you want to make a clipping mask and you will choose create clipping mask. Now it's giving release because I already did it. Okay. And after you did a clipping mask which covered it, you will play with the effects. For example, this is an option, but usually the best ones is the color dodge tool. For sure, you can also change the color after you made red. Let's say you made red and you found it's too light with this tool. This tool is better because it will keep all the details of the car, highlights and everything. Or you can choose multiply, but it will be darker. And it depends on the color of the car or the original color of the car for sure. Let's see each one what they will make. I'm just gonna use the several options to show you. This is the lighten one, screen, color dodge. This is linear, this is too pale. This color dodge is better. This is as if it didn't change. Overlaying and many others. So according to your need, you can change it. But to keep the color you decided, we'll go with the color dodge and make it a little bit darker and paint it again. It gave brownish color. You can also modify whatever the opacity you want. This is too bright. So let's say another color. I don't know, maybe orange. So we have to think about the original color itself of the card because you can't change it fully. And if you change it, it will be more visible. So each color and whatever picture you have will let you choose different options from here. For now, I'm just gonna keep it, and as you can see, I changed the color of the card itself without touching to the original image. So this is the original one. Let's say I wanna erase this part because it looks green. I will need to erase from the layer, the new layer I created from selecting to pan. I will just erase it using the eraser button because here it's all green, which it shouldn't be. I'm just gonna make it smaller. Yes.
Same thing for the window and the headlights.
Yes, because it will be too hard for you to select it one by one, or else you have to select the metal and the window separately. So it's better to select it all together to gain time, or if you would like to work on one material, let's say, you can easily
طب انا هلا فيني اروح
select.
to the layer with the car alone يعني layer 1 and can I remove the whatever you're erasing now يشيلهم من layer 1 حتى ما يطلع علي green color بلا ما اقعد معها.
I'm removing from the layer one now.
I mean yeah but within layer 1 في another tool فيني ارجع اعمل pen tool والغيها اعمل delete للبارت من layer 1.
You can use the pen tool, you can choose the selection tool, whatever tool you're comfortable using with. For example, I'm going to choose this one, but it's not going to be so clear sometimes. But this time it is not bad. Let's say,
Okay.
and delete it. You can use any selection tool you want, whatever you are comfortable using it. It's not going to change anything if I use this selection tool or erase it normally, or using the magic wand tool, for example. But I don't prefer you to use, for example, the pen tool because it's going to be harder for you to select it. You got my point? And also, I can
Yes,
use the
thank
pen
you.
tool. Let's say I'm going
انا
to
هيك كان قصدي
select
وصلت الفكرة لانه كنت مفكر بس لازم نمحي ما بدي
from here. For example, I selected this. I'm just going to make an example. I will need to go to the pad to be able to select whatever I selected by the pen tool and return to the layers, either delete it through your keyboard, the delete button, directly or erasing it. Okay? Basically, this is it. And I want you to ask more questions if you try it for sure, but I don't think any one of you is trying right now. Did you try whatever I talked about last time? For example, moving an object into another picture. Did anybody of you try it or no?
Yes.
And how did it go? Was it fine? I want to know if you're able to copy an image from image or no.
That's fine.
I want to know if everyone is able to copy an image to another image or blend an image.
أنا
Okay, good. And I guess the other ones didn't try maybe.
إذا بدنا نحط فلتر على كل الصورة فينا نعمل هذا الشيء same picture. إذا بدنا نحط مثلا نغيرها sunset أو شيء يبين هيك different shade, can we do that لكل الصورة مع بعضها؟
This is why I wanted to know if everyone tried copying an image from image, because I wanted to show you an example of how you can mix picture and blend it, change the color, change the texture, for example, but I'm gonna show you as it is. So, okay. Now I'm thinking to, what was your question? Sorry, sir. I couldn't
نحط فلتر لهي الصورة مثلا هلا it looks sunny, فينا نعملها تبين مثل شوي هيك sunset hue أو شيء هيك on top of it.
Yes, you will need to add some filters, add some colors. For example, I'm gonna add okay. You will choose the picture, and from the button, we'll add some adjustment layer. Let's make some brightness and contrast. Let's play with the brightness. This is what you meant? This was your question?
يا بس أنا فكرت بدنا نعمل بنحط مثل ما عملنا للكار بنعمل another layer وبيغطي كل الصورة, هيك كنت بفكر. بس هيك كمان it works.
You have many other options to work with, and it depends on what you're working and what is your image. So I want to show you some ways of using these tools. You have the brightness tool and giving contrast as any filter you used in Instagram, for example, or anything. But here you can use several filters on top of each other. For example, I'm going to add now this threshold, and I'm going to make it all black to white image. And here accordingly, for example, I will be able to control how much whiteness I need and how much detail I want. For example, accordingly, you can leave your image as you want. For example, if this was what you wanted, you can decide leave it as this and then add color on top of this. But I'm not gonna work with this one now. I want to show you how to add an image on top of this image, let's say, and give some texture. From here, you will have the option of pattern. Let's say I'm going to choose another pattern. I'm going to choose this bubble effect. This is already found in Photoshop. I'm just gonna give an example, and I will lower the opacity. This is something what you can have. But when you have a specific pattern and you want to add it, I'm just gonna add on the car for now. You can add on anything you want. It might be your face, your wall, anything. I'm gonna choose a pattern which I had already downloaded. For example, this pattern. I will double click on it to be able to control the layers. And now I'm going to select, we're using the magic wand tool, select the background, and I'm going to delete the background, and then I'm going to select all the image itself by Control A, which will select all the image. As I deleted the background, I don't have any obstacle. Maybe I have here some white parts. I need to
Can you
delete
please
them.
repeat how you deleted the background altogether?
Sure. I'm just gonna go back. Okay. I chose the magic wand tool because I prefer using it and selected the white part. As the background all is one color, I can select it all together by using the magic wand tool and deleted it on my keyboard. Delete button. For example, here I can see some white parts which weren't selected. I'm going to select again and delete it easily. And then once I'm done, I have nothing selected now. I'm gonna click Control A to select all the image. Now I have all the image selected. And now I'm gonna copy it and paste it on another picture. Control C to copy it, and I have to create new layer. Make sure to create new layers as you're working anything, even if you're just filtering, not to ruin other layers, to be able to adjust it later on. So I'm just gonna paste it on my new layer, Control V, and I have the image. As you can see now, there are some problems because the background was white and I wasn't able to see if there were anything remaining, but that's not an issue as I copied it on another layer. So now I can easily come and use my magic wand tool to make some new selections and remove the white parts. Let's see which part I'm gonna use of the picture. Now I have this pattern. I'm planning to add it on this car. So let's have it like this. Okay. What I have to do to add it only on this part, only on the front side of the car, or maybe to the door. I don't know, anything. I guess the door is better for now, just to make small selection. What I need to do now is, again, I'm gonna make some selection with the pen tool. This is the part of the door, I guess. Yes. Here is the mirror. I have to eliminate the mirror because I don't want to add into the mirror the pattern. So I selected this one. Once we're done selection. I'm gonna go to path, make selection, back to layers. I have to, oh, I have to create a new layer. As you saw, I was in the layer third when I did the selection. So I will just control and J to copy it. As you can see, I just added this layer here on to the door of the car. I know it doesn't look any nice. I just wanted to show you something before our time ends. I was planning to add a pattern on face, but the lack of the time.
بالعكس كتير حلوة. And I never knew you can do that easily.
So here we have some issues. The white parts, it's not a problem because you can edit it as I told you earlier, but I didn't want to work on parts which I'm not going to be using. So now easily I can change the white part and
Here you're
leave
just
it.
selecting and deleting.
Yes, I'm selecting and deleting. You can also change the color of the pattern you chose. As I showed you earlier, however we change the color of the car, we can change the color of the pattern. For example, I have a black pattern and I don't want to use the black pattern, but I like this pattern so much that I want to use it. So I can change the color easily. Shall we make it? We have time. I'm gonna try to. This is the pattern as I showed you earlier by using the clipping masking the tool. Um, okay. I'm gonna create a new layer. Photoshop and many other softwares, it's important to work with layers. Let's say I'm gonna make this pattern maybe what cyan maybe. Let's try it. Okay, and I'm gonna color it and add this one. It didn't sound nice because it's a full color. It's better to use the multiply or lighten as it's a lighter color. I'm gonna lower the brightness a little bit. Maybe this color wasn't so nice on the green. But I guess you got how it is, how it all works. Yes. I hope you could learn something new for today.
Yes, it's really nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. So as this layer is not needed anymore, we can simply click on the layer and delete it, not to be mixed with different layers and get lost. Thank you all.